From extended child, we'll round the back body, pour the weight forward, and come back into tabletop neutral spine. We'll start with the left leg this time, lifting the left leg and extending the left foot back behind you. Bend the left knee, pulse everything up to the sky. Use the hands to press the floor away. Squeeze left knee in towards the tricep and place the left foot down for a crescent or a wide lizard lunge. Some type of delicious low lunge that feels great for you. Come up onto fingertips or blocks. I'll use blocks to show you. Breathing in low lunge here, pulling the feet and the legs in towards the midline. I'm going to move my right block out to the side a little, out more to the corner of the mat. I'm going to wrap my right tricep, pull everything in toward the midline, and come into a twisted lunge, cactusing this left arm up to the sky. The left knee stays tucking in towards the midline. A little bent arm strength through the right elbow. And exhale, shift forward. And we'll straighten this left leg and shift back to half Hanumanasana. For a hip stretch, take it easy here. Use the blocks. Enjoy the flow of the breath. Inhaling, looking up perhaps, and exhaling, bowing forward, deepening the stretch. Inhale, bend the left knee, shift forward, and we'll play with something here. I'm going to place my block on volume 1 with my hand on top. And I'm going to play in twisted lunge with raising my back leg and starting a little pendulation action, teetering back and forth, using my core strength for stability. And eventually, I'm going to pick up this back leg and pull it through like so. Right? Try it again. I'm here in twisted lunge, my arm cactus. And I'm going to start to teeter forward, create all the space that I need right here to squeeze this knee up towards the tricep and pull it through for a half leg forward fold. Okay. Grab one block. Remember our one-legged rock and roll. We're going to do that, keeping our block with us. Roll back, come forward, place the block under the left foot, place the right foot on the side of the block. This is hard to see. We'll use the opposite. And we're going to roll on down to our backs with one foot flat on the block and one foot to the side of the block. Like so. Do some butterfly rotations. Kind of using the block to massage the feet. Using the block to really explore how we can get a little leverage in this pose. Opening and closing the knees like a book, with the arms cactused. Once again. Okay, now we're going to bring the feet to either side of the block and press the feet into the block. Feel the low back lengthen. the rib cage soften down towards the hip points. So we're going to create a little turtle shell and like round the back body and press into those blocks and press into that back body so much so that you can lift the block off of the mat. For 5, tap, 4, tap, 3, tap, 2, 1. How about 5 more? 2, 3, you can do it. 4, keep that back body pressing down. 5, and switch sides by placing one foot on top of the block and the other foot on the outer edge of the block. And we'll do some hip flossing and some butterfly opening and closing of the legs on the other side. Okay, we're going to go back to squeezing the block with both feet, pressing the back body down onto the mat, so much so that we can lift the block. And now we're going to squeeze our knees into our armpits so that we can pass the block into our hands. And we'll bring the block up overhead, keeping the feet where they are. And we'll bring the block back to the feet. Squeeze the block, bring the feet down. Keep the back body pressing into the mat. Squeeze, 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 and lift. Squeeze knees in towards the armpits. Grab the block, extend it up overhead. Bring the block back to the feet. Keep breathing. Place the block so close to placing it down, but then we're just going to slip back up, squeeze knees in towards the armpits. Grab the block with the hands, extend it up overhead, keeping the knees and the feet where they are. And this time we'll be done. Squeeze the block, place the feet down, arms back to cactus. Very nice. So, remove the block, kick it away. And we'll once again come into some cross-legged rocking and rolling. So cross the feet and rock back. Lean forward. Cross the feet in the opposite direction. Opposite direction. And we'll come to seated. Little pulses here in butterfly pose with feet together and knees wide apart for 10, 9, 8, 7. Same way we did those Paschimot forward folds using the arm strength. 5, 4. Keep pulling the low belly up and in. 3, 2, 1. Cross the feet. Come forward into tabletop. The right leg lifts up to the sky this time. We'll keep that knee bent and pulse the foot up to the ceiling. Keep the low belly pulling up and in. Lots of strength through the back body here. The tailbone lengthening slightly. And we'll squeeze this right knee in towards the elbow. Lift and extend. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, squeeze. Last one, inhale. Look up, pulse the foot up, extend the back body. Exhale, squeeze the knee, squeeze the side body. Place the foot down into a low lunge or a wide-legged lizard, whatever you prefer. And since I did on the other side, I'll use blocks here. I'm coming into more of a low lunge than a lizard, but if you have really wide hips or you just like more space, you can always have a wider lunge. So my hips are pretty narrow, but I'm gonna center them towards the front, pull everything in towards the midline. In my low lunge here, lean and stretch back, and low lunge, and then we'll shift forward and come to a twisted lunge. Using the block and bringing it more towards the corner of the mat, we'll inhale and cactus the right arm up to the sky, pull the right knee in towards the midline, twisted lunge. Breathe into the back body, little bent arm strength here in the left arm. And exhale, we'll round forward and shift the hips back to half Hanumanasana, half splits pose. So we've been practicing like kicking the heels in towards the butt. So we're not going to do that here in half splits pose, but keeping that ankle activation and that foot activation happening. Maybe we inhale and straighten. Exhale, bow forward. Keeping the hips as square to the front of the mat as we can. We'll inhale, start to pour forward and come back to our twisted lunge. Now we kind of have a better idea of where we're going, so we'll lift the back leg and start our little bouncing pendulations. I think a cross between pendulate and undulate is really cool. I think we just invented the word pendulation. So we're pendulating back and forth, and eventually we're going to get some lightness here in this back leg so that we can pull it through for a half-seated forward fold. Our half-seated forward fold is going to turn into some one-legged rocking and rolling. This time, instead of that nasty block drill, we're just going to cross the left foot over the right, pull both feet through, and come back to tabletop with a neutral spine, neutral pelvis, and spread the fingers nice and wide. Wrap the triceps in towards one another, bend the elbows slightly like that bent arm strength that we've been doing. Wrap the triceps, and then we'll tuck the toes, lift the knees and the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a few beats here in downward facing dog to make it your own. Bend your knees, straighten your knees, some side stretching, walking out your dog, bending one knee at a time, doing some undulations. And here in down dog, we're wrapping the triceps in towards the midline as we've been talking about, keeping the armpits nice and lifted, keeping the hips nice and lifted, feeling the shoulder blades draw into the back body. We're pulling the low belly up and in. And then we're going to pour and round forward. We're going to pour the weight forward, round the back body into a plank. Lower the knees, lower the belly, and we'll come into Sphinx pose. So here on my forearms with my fingers pointing ahead, squeezing my elbows